y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Ari, and today I'm going to be making a video pretty much answering a few of you guys' questions on my last video, pretty much answering and giving you guys advice about University of Houston. But before we get into this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for more. And without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so I have my notes here. It's just a few questions that you guys asked that I feel like I could get more clarity on or touch base on, so you guys can understand a little bit more before you come, because some of the questions were repeated and I realized that I didn't really touch the subject in the video. So yeah, so one of the questions I got is, how long did it take to get accepted? It took me I applied in about November. It took me till about like February to get fully accepted, I guess you could say, because I did apply kind of late and I didn't turn in all my stuff on time. But yeah, I would say that I did apply for financial aid earlier in the year, so I did get a pretty good amount, I guess you can say. Not really, I don't know. Financial aid with this school is very tight, so make sure you guys apply for scholarships because they're needed. Somebody asked me about orientation. Well, no, actually, no, they didn't ask me about orientation. Just orientation was brought up. Pretty much, you're not fully committed to the school until you pay your deposit for housing and until you enroll in your classes. That's when you're fully committed to the school. You're fully, accepted, stuff like that, and you're just good to go for the school. So yeah, you can get accepted, but that doesn't mean you have to go to the school until you make the commitments of housing and enrolling. So yeah, just remember that orientation is mandatory, so you do need to go. It's required for all students. When you go, you learn about the school and you learn about enrolling, professors, stuff like that. So do make sure you go. It just gives you a little more insight of what you're about to get into when you get into school and how to select your classes and stuff like that. Residency and applying outside of state. If you're applying from outside of state, it will cost more because you're an out-of-state student. That's just the way it is. I know when I applied to LSU, my tuition is way higher than it is here just because it's out of state. So do keep that in mind if you're coming from out of state or overseas, anything like that. It will cost more just because you're not a resident of Texas, if that makes sense. So with any school you go to, if you apply out of state, it costs more just because you're out of state resident. But I was thinking about going to LSU next year. So for me to do that, I wanted to get an apartment out there and then apply to the school, just because it would be cheaper for me to go to school, if that makes sense. So there's possible ways that it could be cheaper for you. If you have family who lives out here, there's a way that you could, commute from their house, or say you live there, there's ways that your tuition can be cheaper. Well, yeah, if you're a resident and if you have the, sources to help you, if that makes sense. School environment. I had a lot of questions about the environment of University of Houston, so I will go a little more in depth than I did in the last video. University of Houston is located in 3rd Ward. 3rd Ward is a hood area, a ghetto, if that helps you. Me personally, I have only had a couple experiences here, with just homeless people or people using drugs that are homeless that have bothered me, but nobody has ever tried anything. The area itself is not the safest. It is in the hood, so you do have to be careful. If you're a lady, get pepper spray before you come to school. Don't just come to school with no source of protection, because it's needed. If you walk, make sure you walk with other people around you. I have walked around by myself and luckily nothing has happened to me, but it is a dangerous area, so you do want to be careful. As long as you're walking around with other people and you have more than one person with you, you should definitely be fine. Just don't walk the areas alone. If you have a guy friend that can walk with you to places, that would be recommended. Just be really careful of where you go and who you associate with when you're here, because the area is in a hood area. as most colleges are. Like, it's just, you just really got to be safe and cautious regardless of where you're at, because there are predators everywhere, not just at University of Houston. So yes, other than that, I have no problems here. Just really be safe with where you're going. What to do after you get accepted. Once you get accepted to University of Houston, there's just a few things you need to do. It may seem like a lot, but just breathe in and out. It's not as bad as it seems. You just have to be patient, calm, and collected while doing these things. When you get accepted, make sure as soon as you get accepted, you look at housing. It's already March, so housing should definitely be open. I think their deadline to close housing without paying a fee is like next month. So if you get it in now, I'm pretty sure you don't have to pay any deposit down. That happened for me. I don't know if they changed it this year, but definitely look into housing. Personally, if you can commute, it would be a lot cheaper. You are required to get a meal plan as a freshman. So if you're living here in a dorm, you are required to get a meal plan when you apply, which is money as well. So my plan for next year is definitely to get an apartment and not be required, because it just saves me money, because I don't really eat here. I eat out a lot, or I just know people who cook. So yeah, I can cook though. I just don't cook here because it's community kitchens. Speaking of that, we'll get there. After housing, just make sure you get that selection. Try to find a roommate as quick as you can, because they do also have a deadline for that. Make sure you sign up for orientation as soon as you can if you know that you're going here, because the later you choose orientation, the lower the chance of you getting a class that you want, if that makes sense. So the earlier orientations, you already get through all that whole process that they require you to go through. There's like a whole process that you're required to watch and do, and then you get to choose your classes once you've done orientation. So once you do orientation, you can select your classes. So if you can, try to do orientation as soon as you can. Try to get the first few so you get the first picks of your classes, because I chose really late. So I had to take some classes that were meant for my spring semester, my fall semester, and this semester I'm taking classes I was supposed to take last semester because I chose really late. So please, 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 please do orientation. After that, just start getting things for your dorm, stuff like that. I bought all my stuff in portions, because if I would have went at once, it would have been just crazy expensive. But definitely try to space out you getting your stuff for your classes. Okay, somebody also asked me about the CV1 and CV2 differences. In CV2, I made a mistake in my last video and said that the restrooms were like community style. Somebody told me that they're not, so I'm not 100% sure, but I did go to CV2 and I seen that the restrooms are the same here. They're in the dorm, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's not really a difference. The only really big difference between CV1 and CV2 is the hospitality. CV1 is more bougie, as you would like to say. CV2 is more, homely. CV2 definitely is more homey. It's just more comfortable to be in. The people are more cool there. It's more chilled and laid back than it is in CV1. Oh, and also sneaking into CV2 is probably way easier than CV1, honestly, because me and my friends went over there the other day and we got questioned. We got no question. Like, we didn't get questioned at all, so I don't know. Meal plan. The meal plan is mandatory. I did cover that, but there's meal plans that have, you could get food just throughout the 5 days of the week or 7 days out of the week. So it really depends. Just be careful which one you choose, because if you're a person who goes home on the weekends and you know that you don't need it, then just get the one that has for 5 days. If you're a person who knows that you're going to be here all the time and like to eat, I'll get the one that's 7 days. Each one is more expensive depending on how many days and stuff that you choose to get. So just keep that in mind. And last but not least, I also got a question about the kitchen situation in the dorms. Yes, there is a kitchen in the dorms. There's one actually like right down the hall from me. It's super close. It has a oven, a stove, a refrigerator, it has a sink, it has a microwave, it has pretty much everything that a normal kitchen would have. It's a community styled kitchen, so you can cook if you're one of those type of people who don't mind it being a community styled kitchen. Me personally, I'm just waiting until I get a place to start cooking again, because I have hated so much fast food in the past year. So yeah, I hope I answered all you guys' questions. I just decided to make a video on it because I realized that a lot of the questions were being asked again and again, and I just wanted to clarify all that stuff for y'all, because I don't want y'all to be lost. I want y'all to be as, you know, helped out as possible through this process. Good luck to everybody. If you got accepted, hopefully I can see you around campus. If you don't choose to go here, good luck in your process of choosing a college. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for more of me. And if I can help you guys in any way, make sure you guys leave a comment. I answer everybody's questions, so if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I will get a hold of you. Also, if you would like to contact me personally, you can contact my Snapchat. It is ARIIIIIJC. And yeah, that's how you guys can get in contact with me quicker than leaving a comment. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and